Okay, so today there are a few things we need to talk about. First, so the demos. We have 2 demos from Sipke. 2 demos from Sipke. This should be the best thing ever from Sipke. We have 1 demo from Benedek. We need to talk about the website because Sean is blocked right now. So website Sipke's show. But man, Sipke's show, Benedek will keep you for the end because we might not have time, and you will decide if it makes sense for you to show it because maybe you want more, more.
Okay, thanks.
I don't know.
You'll
say, no, I wait for next week. You tell us. And what else? Status. I will have to actually pull the change sets. I will try to share, but I'm not sure it will work. Okay, let's start. Let's try to share my screen. I'm sharing right now, so you will tell me if you can see. I fixed the bug. Yeah, I haven't pushed it yet. I need to pull first. Let me pull it. Can anyone see my screen?
Not yet.
No, we couldn't connect the presentation because I can't share my screen. So I won't try to share again. My connection is very bad. So I will just go over, just explain the changes that have been done, and even Git pull is very slow. I hope I will be able to see the demos. So while I'm pulling the changes, I've done 1 change I haven't pushed yet. It's a bug fix for taxonomies. If a taxonomy term has a comma, then when you autocomplete, it shows the terms separated by comma. So if you have, for instance, a term called foo, bar, in the taxonomy autocomplete, you will see foo and bar, because internally it's using the comma to split the terms. So I fixed it, and also the issue was that then you have to remove the comma as a separator for terms, but it's fine. So let me see the changes. This is my change, and I see Sipke has worked on these demos this hour. Lots of changes from Daniel on the Audit Trail, and I think that's it. Making extensions list and okay, so yeah, Zoltan and Benedict pushed some changes about the tenant list and removing some exceptions from the storage provider, and that's it. And layout and okay, so let's start with the good stuff. So Sipke will show us 2 modules he's been working on. I think I will ask him to start with the Audit Trail because it's the most public one. The Audit Trail is developed by Sipke and Daniel. Yeah, I don't know what I can say about it. Sipke, you want to show us?
Yeah, so I have to start the Studio first. So give me a few seconds. The layout module, the Audit Trail module enables module developers to provide custom Audit Trail events. Out of the box, there are a number of events already implemented. For example, whenever a user changes content, that's being logged. We did a demo previously, and we added some features where you can add customized filter UI. So I'm going to show you that.
Are you sharing?
Not yet. I'm still loading Visual Studio. I'm waiting with sharing because that slows down the computer a little bit.
How long to wait?
Okay, there it is.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Okay. The screen presentation didn't start because of an error. Please try again. So I'm retrying.
I had the same thing.
Still. That's weird.
Well,
Okay, I'm gonna try the web client using Google. That's usually more stable. So hang on, guys. Okay, so this seems to work fine. It's connecting. Philip has performance problems. Okay, let me know when you can see my screen.
I can see it now. I can see it.
Okay. Okay, great. Yeah. Menu item called Audit Trail, and it essentially shows all of the records recorded. And and I see Daniel has improved the filter UI. That's nice. This filtering UI is extensible from code. You can add shapes to this filter. Their Audit Trail events are categorized. So currently there are 2 categories. They're associated with features, which we can enable here. Audits. So we have Audit Trail content definition events, role events, and user events, which will enable. So when we refresh the settings, now we see more events that we can enable or disable for logging. So when all of this is disabled, nothing will be logged. If everything is enabled, everything will be logged, and this gives you the ability to, on a very granular level, which events to log and which not to log. For example, logging in, logging out. Oh yeah, each content item has a Audit Trail link, which brings us to this page. So these events are associated with a selected content item. Or we can see the version history. Using this view link, we can look at the actual version. Let's see how that works. So we're making a change here. Not sure what's going on here, but I think. Oh, wow. Would it? I didn't know about that. It's a new editor. Okay. So let's make a change. Changed. body parts. We can provide a comment about this change. For example, we updated body parts for demo purposes. We can look at the current audit trail. When we hit publish now, we'll get a new version. In theory. Change the body parts. So I just pulled in the, oh, here it is, version 12. Okay, so here we see the comments for this version. If we look at the details, we see a diff compare between the previous version and the current version. What we want to do in a future version is to also highlight the textual changes. For example, here we change the title and we change the body part here, but it isn't instantly visible what parts change, but we can see the properties that have been changed. So this is a specific content event. There's many more events, such as users logging in, logging out. So this event has been logged here. As you can see, logged out, logged in. Filtering. Daniel broke the tool picker. We can filter by category. Filter by user, filter by content type. This is related to content type definition events, which are also logged. For example, if we change the type and we add a part, for example, comments. Then we'll see a bunch of events related to that. We see all of the parts that have been updated because we updated the settings. You can filter this for the page type. So a lot of events. So all this is recorded, and this feature enables users to see the history of configuration changes in the system, content changes, and it's extensible, of course. I think that's all I can tell about Audit Trail at this point. Oh, maybe one more setting. That's the trimming settings. So at some point you might want to get rid of the events after you've archived them, of course, using the export feature. And this way the database will remain a little bit smaller and it won't grow indefinitely. Are there any questions? No questions? Are you guys still there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
It's awesome.
Thank you. When it's available.
Hey Sipke, it's Brett. It's really cool. That is like a really useful thing. I know Onestop could benefit from, I think.
Thanks, Brett. Yeah. Actually, George mentioned that they're interested in using this module, so that's very cool. Bated breath. Oh, there you go. The source code, it's already there, out there on Codeplex. It's in the features/Audit Trail branch, so you can give it a try. It's currently being tested by others. Well, it's pretty much done. A couple of bugs that we need to fix, and it should be good to go. And yes, this is gonna, I think Sebastian has to confirm, but I think this is gonna be a core module. Which module will be implemented? So currently we won't update other modules. So the Audit Trail module itself provides Audit Trail event providers. Yeah, I think so too. It's useful, but audits are available by default. So if you look at this screen, these are all the events that come out of the box by default. So we have content type Audit Trail providers, content part providers, roles, users, content items, and Audit Trail settings themselves are also audited. Is it included in the same transaction as the event it is auditing? What do you mean, Chris? Oh, I can take this. And yeah. It's part of the same in Hibernate transaction. So, for example, the content Audit Trail event provider, it implements a content handler, and so it listens for content item events. And for example, when a content item is published, that event is then logged as part of that event handler. So yes. Is the comment tokenizable? No. Do you think that's useful? Antoine, do you think it's maybe useful? We'll have to talk about it. I gave it a little thought, but I didn't think it was that useful. But on the other hand, it might be. So we need to discuss. Is there an event or workflow available on auditing? Not sure what you mean by that. Activity on auditing a certain type. So you mean a workflow activity on auditing a certain type? So we don't have any workflow Audit Trail events specifically, but I'm not sure what your use case is. So maybe we can take this offline and discuss. Or if you can use your mic and we can discuss, because this is a bit slow using the chat. Oh, no, there's nothing like that. If you have some useful use cases, maybe that's useful. I haven't thought about that. Okay, so Christian asks, don't you have problems with create after update? I didn't see any problems with that. Okay, doesn't ring a bell. But maybe you can try out this module and let me know if there's an issue with it. That would be good. Thanks. Okay, so if there aren't any other questions, I'm going to show a new module I've been working on. It started at Orchard Harvest, actually, where Benedict, Zoltan, Bertrand, me, Piotr were looking at the modules for the contest, and there was this one guy who created a forms module, and it had some drag and drop features, and that inspired me so much that I started doing that, and because I wanted to build a forms module myself. And soon I realized we need something to be able to lay out elements on a canvas, and Sebastian has been talking about it, and Nicholas Main has been working on a layouts module. So we decided to create a new feature called Layouts, Orchard Layouts. And I've been working on that the last couple of weeks. So I'd like to show you guys and get some feedback.
Yeah, Sipke, you're not presenting at the moment. The presentation is paused.
Sorry, can you repeat that, Benedict?
The presentation is paused at the moment, so we can't see your screen.
Oh, did I do that? Did I pause the presentation?
Yeah, it seems so.
Oh,
Could be a keyboard
weird.
shortcut or something like that. For example, Ctrl-Shift-S stops the presentation, so it's pretty funny when you are working in Visual Studio, for example, and sharing at the same time.
Gotcha. Okay, so let me reshare the screen. So my screen is connecting. Okay, so for me it says currently presenting. So let me know when you can see my screen, guys.
I can't, and I probably have to rejoin the presentation to be able to see your screen. So please hang on a few seconds. Yeah, I can see it now. Yeah, go ahead. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so there's a new layout feature. There's a new module called Orchard Layouts. And basically what it allows you to do is drag and drop elements on a canvas and lay out those elements using grids, rows, and columns. And to enable layouts, you attach the layout part to your content type. So, for example, if we want to lay out a page, we can attach the layout part. And now when we edit the homepage, for example, we'll see, we don't see the body part because that's now been taken over by this layout part. So what we can do is drag and drop elements. So these are categorized. We have content part category, the form category, or actually this is just a demo category for now, because this is going to be part of a separate feature for customized forms, custom form elements with single grid elements. So these things are called elements. Image is an element. Snippets I'll explain shortly. We have support for widgets. So let's start with grid. So here we're dropping a grid. So we have a grid. A grid by default has a single row, and that row is a single column. We can split this column into two or more. This is more or less like Bootstrap, Bootstrap grid system. By default, it has a maximum columns count of 12. So you need to make sure all of the columns count up to 12 spans. So on this surface, we can then drag and drop elements, for example, paragraphs, widgets, of course. I need to do a hard refresh here as well for the new TinyMC editor. Okay, so this is broken for some reason, unfortunately. So we can add a couple of rows, lay out the columns. We can resize the columns like that. It also supports offsets, so cells can be offsetted to the left or the right if there's enough space. So you can drag and drop elements like this. But there's also a plus button which enables you to add elements using an element browser. What's nice is we can use content parts that attach to the current content item. So we can lay it out like that, so you don't need placement anymore for that. You can drag and drop it anywhere. You can say this. So now we have some weird layout here. And on the front end, that looks like this. So we have the body part here, some paragraph there and here. We can drag and drop it into that cell, and then it's reflected here. So that's in a nutshell the layout editor. So it supports content parts, widgets, and custom elements. And this system, of course, is extensible. You can, as a module developer, you can provide your own elements. It also supports templates, which means you can set up a layout and use that as a template. For example, enabling a master layout system where you can lay out your template layouts. For example, we'll have 5 rows. We'll have a header zone, a site first, and a site second, and then the content zone, for example. We'll have triplets. And we'll have quads. That's one too many. And a footer here. So now we'll have a master layout, and we can reuse this. Oh, we have to check use this layout as a template. So that means the system will know this is a template. Now when we go to content, we now see a drop-down list here, so we can use a template. Currently, when we change the template, the elements will be lost. I'm still working on that so that will be retained. And I think I broke that. That's a shame. This worked before this call. Let me have a quick look. Okay, so that's a bug that needs to be fixed. But okay, so you saw we just selected the master layout. Because this is a template, we can't change the columns and we can't change the layout or anything else that comes from the template, but we can drag and drop elements onto those things. For example, a logo, some text. This paragraph element will be enhanced with an actual HTML editor, for example, TinyMC, or using this default system of HTML filters and editors. Or actually, maybe just a caption. We can, of course, use the body part here. As you may have noticed, that this editor, this is an actual part editor. In this case, the body part editor. We can add a comment part to render the date, the text part. We have some tags there, which will be rendered there over here once we save. So there we see some tags. We can, of course, add a title part. We can control where we want to show that. For example, here. Publish now. And now we have customize our homepage using the layout editor. We also support snippets. Snippets are shapes that you can implement as Razor view files in your theme. For example, I created a custom theme called the layout machine, which is based on the theme machine, and it has a single view called logo snippet. And based on this naming convention, where the name is suffixed with a snippet, with the snippet word, there's an element harvester class that will recognize it, and that enables us to drag and drop snippets like that. So this enables you to quickly create some eraser files, and then you have the ability to drag and drop them onto your canvas, which I think is really cool. Daniel suggested it might make sense to extend this harvester so that it will also harvest snippets from modules. So we might add that feature as well. We'll see. Let me think if there's anything else. Yeah, it's interesting to know that using this templating system, you can implement an hierarchy of templates. And so, for example, we have a single master layout right here. We could create a new layout which adds some default contents. For example, this is a master layout with elements. We'll use the master layout as its layout. Then we can add some media, some footer, for example, some. Oh, now it works. That's good. So this is an HTML widget we're adding. This will be copyrights. So now we'll have another template which we can then use when we create a new page. For example, an about page. And now by default, this page will have yeah. Sebastian?
This is awesome, but there's some things that are even more awesome. So first, I would like to emphasize on it's completely extensible. So the goal is that you will have tens of snippets. Bertrand mentioning that it will replace placement. For instance, now you can place a field directly where you want. So snippets could show a field that is available for content type, and that you pick the field that you want and inject wherever you want. So you don't even need to create some template from a file for that. You can just drag and drop the field values for that. I haven't done them yet, but they will be available.
Yeah.
Also, there were questions about the widgets. Replacement for widgets. They are different things, and they will be used in at the same time. So, for instance, this layout is just the content of the page, of the main layout of the theme, triple and whatever. It's the content zone. Inject at the same time some widgets in the zones. And I don't know where you are with this layout. You could be able to see the other zones from the theme and be able widgets or snippets into these other zones. So the editable layout is for the content zone, but you will still have access to the other theme zones.
Exactly, and that's a feature that's on the roadmap, but not in. It's not currently here yet. But this module has been built with that use case in mind, so that you have a visual layout of your theme zones. So the cells you see here, those aren't zones, but those could represent theme zones, and then you can visually drag and drop widgets onto those zones. And that we've been talking about the widgets editor here, and so essentially this screen could be replaced with a visual representation of the
Not an edit, not yes, not an view just to drag and drop in the zones. So the editor, the template will be already pre-configured based on the theme layout. So
exactly.
we will not have flat zones, but really an organized list of zones where we can drag and drop widgets. So, and I personally don't like to see the widgets tab in your layouts menu, because they're separate things and they have a different lifetime. So that's, you know how it works. I don't know. But the opposite is true. Any snippet could be available as a widget, because that's different. That's it.
Yeah, that's it for this demo. Are there other questions?
What you mentioned also, you talked about it somehow. So you said 12 span columns. So the idea is generic grid on the end, but you can customize how the grid is rendered in your theme. So it's just a shape. So a span is just a shape. So if your theme is based on the grid that you are generating on the backend will be rendered as a bootstrap theme grid on your website. And if you want to use another framework, it's also doable. The backend doesn't care about that. It just says, oh, I need a row and I need a column which spans 3 columns, and that's it.
Exactly, and that information will be available to you to your row template or column template, and you can render it in whatever way you want. Yes or yes.
So who can compete with these two modules? Benedict?
To be honest, I'm not sure.
Can we do it next week?
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not sure if it would fit into the time span.
Because I don't know what beat that. It's just I like to do website, and we have not so much time before the game.
Yeah, sure.
So Sipke, thank you. It's when is it for?
Sorry, can you repeat that question, Sebastian?
When?
Oh, when it's ready?
For us to use it. Yeah.
So just a number of bugs. So next week it should be
Yeah.
ready.
Okay. Next month then.
Yeah.
That's already awesome.
Yeah. So maybe we need to
Trail.
talk about what still needs to be done before this can be part of the next release. You just mentioned integration with widgets. You said
This
said
can be
something about widgets.
Yeah, this can be a separate module actually. I think we already said that it can be a separate feature in the widgets, or maybe a separate module based on widgets and layouts.
Right.
Or upgrade widgets based on the editorial. So we'll see, but it's different. It's different.
Yeah. So in that case, just some small bug fixes, and next week it should be stable. It's already working well.
We'll merge in one that takes
when do you want
stable enough that we can ship it. No, when we have decided that we can merge, and people have decided that it works great to be merged, because it could.
Yeah, and there's some core changes that I've made, some minor core changes.
Slow down any release we want.
You're breaking up a little bit, so not hearing all that you're saying, Sebastian. But we need to review some
we should have a discussion.
Core changes that were made, minor ones.
Can you hear me correctly?
No, not.
Okay, I was saying you could open a discussion on the forum so that we can provide feedback and we can talk about it.
Good idea. I'll do that.
So Bertrand is saying you can add zones inside of a layout for widgets to target.
Oh yeah, that's also very cool. So, as Bertrand saying, can add zones inside. Yes, but that's currently not implemented as well. But that's going to be a later version. What you can do, of course, is yes. But what you can do right now is use this layout mechanism and use it as a widget, and then you can drop a layout widget in some zone, and then that part will then be laid.
Yeah, layout widget.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I forgot about it. Okay, let's talk about the website now, because Sean had requested that last week. Sean, do you have first specific questions? Or is just a question about how to unblock the website?
It's just what's the next step on moving forward?
Okay. I won't share the website because I can share with my connection. So let me go on it. So can you share the URL back?
Oh, sure.
Website.azure.net.
Yeah.
Homepage with some that are not done. I see customers about. Anyone hear me?
I can hear you.
It's good. I mean, when I talk, it's good. Cool. Hear that. Yeah. Sean, do you want? For the missing pages, if it's not defined in a PDF, maybe there are some ideas. Maybe we could at least define what should appear on these pages, like a brainstorming or some bullet list, and agree on what should be displayed on these pages and then how to display them. I can't even open any other page than the homepage. I have community. Community is almost done. Homepage is done, but we still need customers. Customer from the short website. Documentation is done. About we could take the content from the current website at least. Support, I don't know what will go, and partners. It might just list of different kind of partners, websites, and so I don't know. There are two different efforts. Maybe finalizing the theme, changing it to something correct, and having correct shots and data for the page, like make it correct, and at the same time, what's available, what should be displayed on the. Yeah, sorry. Okay.
I'd like to say a few words about the localization, if that's okay. So, just very quickly, the translation, so the master translation strings were updated to Orchard 181. So the latest strings are translatable in Crowdin, and the Hungarian and French translations are already at 100%, and the Spanish and the Chinese ones are over 90. So they are going pretty great, and we have 54 translators in the project, which is quite cool. Yeah, so that's it. Actually, when I was translating the Hungarian strings, there were some pretty tough ones in the media services module. So I don't know if Sipke or Daniel wrote them, but some of them were like three lines long. There were some pretty monster strings. But yeah, so go ahead and translate.
Is my connection here? Can you hear me better now? No. Where's not?
Well, sort of. It's pretty much the same.
Yes. On this, sorry, Benedict, for not being whatever you and Daniel do. Sean, I will try to work on the forum discussion or the question we can fix on the forum for the website. Yeah, that's it. I don't. If you can hear me, thank you everyone for joining. Looking forward to watching Sipke's demo on Trail. I haven't seen that. I'm sad. Talk to speak. Better.
Okay. See you. Bye bye.
See you. Bye.